All right, you got it.
All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
We want to start by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto
YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, HaKakwadash.
Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to all the Akim out there pushing the word of sincerity and the truth. This is Barzal.
This is Gamal Yala.
Yeah, and we just want to do a, just a little sit down in the spirit of just staying active and staying hungry. Those two elements are extremely important in this faith, in this ministry of ours, to stay as active as well as having a level of hunger. And when I say hunger, I'm referencing and always, desiring more. Never having a cap on yourself. You got certain jakes, they got capped off, man. Mm-hmm. And they got full. They got to a certain point where they got full. When you get full, what is that synonymous with? Being satisfied, being fulfilled. We'll never be fulfilled on the side, and we shouldn't even be trying to truly chase physical fulfillments. We should be chasing spiritual fulfillments. That's where the hunger comes from, man. And we're doing what it takes, as it is written. For Zion's sake, I will not rest, in Isaiah the 62nd chapter, until it's made a monument or made basically a kingdom, a established kingdom. And we see that Zion is not established kingdom on this planet Earth. So we got to keep putting in the overtime. So we get it straight into the scriptures. Hopefully brothers are edified.
Khan, this is Matthew 5 and 6. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Yeah, so blessed are they which do hunger and thirst, which hunger is synonymous with, hunger, when you're hungry, that's a metaphor basically for drive. Okay? Where is your, because hey, when you're actually physically hungry, when you're literally hungry, you go hard. You know what I'm saying? So that's the same thing. That's the same way that we have to be towards this truth. It says hunger and thirst after righteousness.
Just to add to what you're saying. And one thing about being hungry and thirsty is hunger and thirst constantly pegs at you. You can't just say, I'm hungry, but I ain't worried about it. You get to a certain, no, I'm hungry. I'm hungry. You're going to do anything to satiate or satisfy that hunger through what? Eating, And like the brother is saying, hunger is synonymous for drive. So the Lord is basically saying, it's a blessing to have that entry level drive. It's a blessing to have that passion. When certain individuals, and it's this one rapper, it's a pretty good song, but Jay-Z had a song, it's called My First Song. He's a nigga, of course, but the point, I just want to bring out a point. He had Biggie on the beginning of it, and Biggie was basically saying, you want to always have that drive like you had for your first song, your first single, your first EP or LP, lengthy projects or what's I think extended projects, I forget which one. But basically having that drive, because every rapper, most cases, or artists, they first real album is mainly their biggest classics, in most cases, because they have that drive to get the bag, to actually get out of the hood. But when they get to a certain point, you start to see their career start to wane because they got satisfied. So the Lord is saying, keep that hunger, keep that thirst for the truth to be imposed on the planet Earth, and keep it unto the end, as it is written, to endure unto the end. You had anything else on that? Because it's a blessing just to add. It's not, it's the Lord respects a man that has hunger, that has drive.
Okay, that was it on that.
Okay, I got to
go to the next one. Go ahead.
Okay, this is Isaiah 62:1. For Zion's sake, will I not hold my peace, and for Jerusalem's sake, I will not rest, until the righteousness thereof go forth as brightness, and the salvation thereof as a light that burneth. Yeah, so Isaiah is basically speaking about not letting up off the gas. He wasn't an idle prophet. He wasn't just like, I done did the work. I need a few days off. Let me just see how, what's popping off in Babylon, or what's popping off in the, Eastern Kingdom. You don't read those segments where Isaiah is segueing. Those prophets were aggressive, man. When it came to the ministry, they was putting in overtime. YAHAWASHI said it best. He said, I taught daily in the temple. When it was cold, when it was hot, when they were in these certain areas that wasn't feasible to even prophesy, they were banned and blacklisted. They were still putting it down. So while we have this level of grace, we're not being persecuted and jacked up like the ancient prophets. It ain't nobody that's, a mob of individuals trying to gun us down in our cities and stuff like that. The Lord gave us a level of grace, but that doesn't mean we just use this leisure time to fuck around, man. We got work to do. And we got to be, and we got to go to the ant, as it is written in Proverbs, the 6th chapter. Go into the ant, thou sluggard. That's really the main point. I just read this last verse and then it says, and the Gentiles shall see thy righteousness, and all kings thy glory, and thou shalt be called by a new name, which the mouth of the Lord shall name. That's really the main point. You want that in Ecclesiastes too?
Yeah, I'll get that real quick.
Last one.
Okay.
Wrap it.
It's Ecclesiastes 9 and 10.
Yeah, and it speaks about the kings knowing the name of the nation, man. In order for a nation to actually be acknowledged, they have to put some dirt, have a level of frequency in the earth, so to speak. When you had the you had the Babylonian captivity, as we know, and the ones that succeeded after, which was the Medo-Persian, the Greeks, and the Romans. A lot of those kingdoms didn't start off big kingdoms. They started low, but then they started gathering, building, developing, information, technology, having good trade routes, a strong military, access points, resources that were niche resources. All right. And they took their, they took all their faculties and took the elements of their kingdom and they expanded.
Yeah.
To the point where they became not only just, from a small province to a great nation. Yeah. And it's the same thing now. You got it.
There was a lot of ground that they had to cover.
There's a lot of ground.
And which is the same thing, with us. We have a lot of ground that needs to be covered, a lot of employment, a lot of roles that need to be filled in order for us to, obtain this kingdom. This Ecclesiastes 9 and 10. Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave, whither thou goest. So yeah, work. Work while you can. The scripture says, work that work betimes.
Everybody respects a good worker, man. If you want a job, you can't really hate on a man that's working with his head down. Working and not working pridefully, but working understanding what's at stake personally for himself, of him losing his job, losing his family, losing his life or whatnot, as well as understanding the production of the company. And what we building for, we're not building in Esau's enterprise. This ain't no goddamn Burger King food chain, fast food chain that we working at. You just sliding Big Macs through the damn drive-through window. This ain't that, man.
Right.
This is the kingdom of heaven we talking about. So it's like, this is a labor, but it should be a labor of enjoyment, a labor of appreciation. This isn't just something I'm just doing this shit because, excuse my French how I'm saying it, but that's how sometimes, Jake, I'm just doing this to pass. This is just passive. This isn't passive. This is our primary duty. This is our calling.
Hey, well, that's the opposite of that's the opposite of active is passive. Which can be likened to idle.
Idle, yeah.
And we don't want to be idle. Idle is basically, shiftless, stand at a standstill.
The standstill.
This is well, that was pretty much the point, but it says, work that whatsoever thy hand, whatever you do it with thy might. So, do it with all your strength. Don't just half-ass things, whatever it says whatsoever. And a lot of people, parents, they'll instill that quality in you. They'll be like, they'll say stuff like, finish what you started.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Or, they always talk about it with school and stuff like that, go hard and, but it applies, in real life,
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you're into, why wouldn't you want to give it your all? Why wouldn't you want to excel? Otherwise, you're just wasting your time.
Yeah, max out. Like the Lord said, max out when you got the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
I got a closer in Proverbs 6.
Mm-hmm.
Proverbs 6:6.
You got it.
Okay, it says, go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise. Yeah, the Lord is liking how we should be working unto the ant. If you haven't seen how ants get down, of course, watch a documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, certain houses, like look at how they be moving in your house if they're in certain. See, you know how it is.
Mm-hmm.
You got some sugar or something like that. Next thing you know, you got a train of fucking ants because they put in work.
Yeah.
And they're dedicated. You don't see ants, slouching around, missing opportunities. There's a lot of opportunities, spiritual opportunities out here, man. A lot of like what the captain saying, a lot of grounds that we have to cover. And we understand that as it is written that the laborers are few. So we have to sometimes stretch our arms a little bit, further than, we sometimes would like to.
Mm-hmm.
You have to cover a lot more grounds. You got to be a priest, a judge, you got a father or, a husband, which is a lot of grounds,
Mm-hmm.
But nonetheless, the Lord likened us to ants. So that means that it's not like we're unable to do it. We're able. You got some brothers that anything you do, it's a brother that has more balance doing it. Of course, starting off with the top with the apostles and elders, but it's always a brother that's doing what you're doing, plus more.
Right.
With more afflictions, with more hell, more sickly, less income, but still doing it. So there ain't, we complain, of course, the scriptures speak about the righteous complain of continually, but it ain't no excuses for not putting in work. That's the point of the matter.
That's right.
Go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise, which having no guide, overseer, or ruleth, provideth her meat in the summer, and gathereth her fruit in the harvest. Yeah, so they do have a hierarchy, but they don't have, like it says, no guide, overseer, or ruler. They still get the job done. So us brothers that have been graced to have apostles and elders, elder priests, elder bishops, and captains over our particular flocks, because we're of course broken up flocks.
Mm-hmm.
In these different, you got GMS, New York and Texas, all these different states. Us brothers that have been blessed to have elders and things of that nature, we don't have no excuses. We could labor-wise winter. We could labor-wise summer. The Lord told us to labor in all these different seasons because it puts us at an advantage point, and that's the power of working. When you work and get up early, that's why they say early bird catches the worm. Why? Because it's an advantage point, man.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody slouch after 4 or 5 o'clock, things start shutting down. You ain't really got too much extension. And I've noticed that when I get up early from when I get up to sleep, your advantage points is different, man. So it's the same thing when you putting in this early work. The Lord says that with Israel waking up B times, and even us doing this work while it is day, when things get down and gritty and darkness falls upon the people in the time of Jacob's trouble, we'll still have those advantage points, and the Lord will see what we have, the work that we put in, which is, gives us that level of respect, in his eyes, to actually cover us and have us as a, protected in that day. So, we didn't want to make it too long. Hopefully, brothers are edified. We're going to end it by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto
YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM,
Double honors to the apostle and elders of the great millstone. Shalom, Maki.
Shalom.